Hey everyone, I'm Sam Oh from Ahrefs, and you're watching 100 Days of SEO.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of 100 Days of SEO. If you're new here, my name is Brendan Hufford. I've radically transformed my life with SEO, and the goal of this project is to help you do the same. I'm here in Chicago hanging out at it's actually called the Cloud Gate. Most of us just call it the Bean. Today, we have a really incredible Friends Friday episode with you. We're talking with Sam Oh of Ahrefs. Sam does video there. It's absolutely incredible work. We're going to talk about beginner video mistakes, advanced video mistakes, and really how they set up their process at Ahrefs to be effective producing really high quality video content. If you care about video SEO, if you care about video marketing, if you care about YouTube, I care about all of these things. I think you do too. I think video is the future of SEO. Definitely stay tuned. Hey, Sam, thanks for joining us for 100 Days of SEO.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm super excited to dive into this. How do you decide when you're putting out a new video or thinking about creating a video on a topic? How do you decide like what to prioritize when it comes to video and YouTube SEO?
Yeah, so I think the first thing that it comes down to is business value. So we have a suite of SEO tools, and generally speaking, we're not going to release any content that's where our tools kind of can't be demonstrated. We will have the odd ones, like for example, on outreach emails. Like you don't use Ahrefs to send outreach emails, but you do it for link building, right? And so in that way, oftentimes there is more search volume around those terms, and so those are the rare ones. So I'd say it's like 9-to-1 ratio where you won't see anything related to our tools in there. For example, next week we're releasing something on how to edit videos for YouTube, and I think in Keywords Explorer it shows a search volume of like 45,000, which we can't even get in SEO or anything like that. And so, those aren't the ones that are necessarily prioritized, but those are ones that we do as a part of a broader strategy.
Obviously you've probably watched your fair share of videos and stuff. What are like mistakes you see beginners making when it comes to like video SEO?
It's funny you mentioned Casey Neistat, because that's kind of one of the first mistakes that I think of. I'm not saying that he makes mistakes, like he's great, but he also has millions and millions and millions of followers. And so a lot of vloggers especially are inspired by people like Casey, and they try to imitate the style in the sense that he doesn't necessarily go for video SEO based on what I can see. His titles, like for example, if he has a new title and it just says like, "We finally did it," then hundreds of thousands of people are going to click on that because they have somewhat of a relationship with him. They know who he is. They've watched up to like 490 episodes of his vlog, and they're inspired by him and they just want to know what he's doing. Whereas, for example, if I were to do that and put that even on the Ahrefs channel, which has like 45,000 subscribers, like maybe like 500 people will get excited. Like, we finally did it. What did Ahrefs do? But like at the end of the day, the other 40,000 people don't care because they're there to get free content, how-to content, or whatever it may be. People like Peter McKinnon, as we were discussing before, he does it really well, where he creates an entertaining kind of videos, but he also educates with evergreen content. And so I think the mistake there is that they're not actually focusing on SEO whatsoever, but they're trying to become these people who have already built these audiences, who I'm sure started with keyword targeted videos that were getting them rankings. Their videos were earning them subscribers and engagement, and people wanted to actually watch more of their videos. And once we get to that place where let's say, for example, we get to a place where we're at 1 million subscribers, I can write one of those titles like, "We finally did it," and more people will actually care what we did because they've been following us. But we've built that through SEO.
I feel like all my favorite people on YouTube, including yourself, are Canadian. It's awesome.
Canadians are the best.
So like, it's just been really cool to watch people like mix like the like relational content with like educational content. It's a lot of what I'm trying to do with 100 Days of SEO, like just so people can see my process. Like, what about people who are maybe a little bit more farther along? Are there any mistakes with video SEO you can see people making that are like actually trying to do it? Like they're maybe a little more advanced?
Two things come to mind. Number one are for YouTubers who they often create videos, I guess, excessively keyword targeting. And so, for example, like they'll create a video on SEO tactics, then another one on SEO techniques, and another one on SEO strategies, but it'll be the exact same content, just worded differently. And sure, you might rank, and maybe it's the best strategy ever, but in my opinion, I feel like that will create subscriber burnout because you stop trusting the creator. And so you may build more of an audience in terms of quantity, but I would imagine that the quality of the audience would go down also, because like I've been subscribed to people like that, and they literally just pump out the exact same thing over and over and over again. And there's no new angle, there's no new strategy, there's no new take. And oftentimes it's because they're not, well, at least in SEO, they're probably not practicing actively. And so they tend to just say the same stuff, which is fine. Like it's okay to use the same strategies, no matter how old they are. If they're working, great, but at least share something in a different way, I guess. Another thing that I see doing, and I, I think this happens mostly for SEOs, like Google SEOs, is they often repurpose content on YouTube, but you know there are different levels of repurposing. For example, like this video is meant for YouTube, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so which is fine. So the intended purpose of this is for that. But for example, like someone will do a webinar that's an hour and a half that has a 45-minute sales pitch at the end, and they'll throw that on YouTube, and it doesn't do very well. Like I've never seen one that does particularly well because the intent of the platform is very different. It needs to be repurposed in a way that actually caters to the audience. And so I find that that is a very common, I would call it a mistake in my opinion. It does take more effort, but in terms of the growth that you can get from doing it in a way to I guess entertain or to engage an audience on YouTube, yeah, the benefits are crazy. And like we're seeing more people sign up through YouTube, or they're saying that they signed up because they found us on YouTube or whatever it may be.
I like how you kind of connected it, two things. I like how you kind of connected it full circle of like, you're seeing that probably because you're creating content that ties directly. And this is one thing I've always loved about your blog is like, we're not just making content based on SEO keywords and volume. And like, it's not, that doesn't ever seem to be the strategy. It's like, what does our tool do? What is the buyer journey? What is their level of awareness? Where does this tie in? How do we, like, every blog post is literally a demo of the tool. And it's like, hey,
Right.
or even if it's something really cool, and this kind of leads me to my second point of like, I've always felt like Ahrefs has something to say. I know that that's something that I've talked to Tim a lot about too, is like, don't just write about tactics, like write about things you've done. And you see a lot of like, I mean, let's be honest, like me working with Ahrefs on 100 Days of SEO started because Rebecca wrote a blog post about podcast sponsorship. And I was like, oh, they're sponsoring people? Like, I guess I had heard you on Money Lab. Like, I should reach out. And now here, you know what I mean? Like, it's really cool, but it's because you're doing experiments and you actually have a take and you have something to say. And a lot of people, like you said, are SEO techniques, SEO strategy, and it's just the same thing because they don't have anything to say. They don't have anything unique. Whereas, I watch Webris or From the Future, and it's like, hey, here's things we've done. Here's client results. Here's a case study. Here's this crazy analysis of a thing that's going on right now. And it's like, oh, we actually like have something to say. And I think that's super engaging.
There's a medium between keyword targeting and content.
That's something I've been harping on within my SEO course, SEO for the Rest of Us, in our Slack group, and also a lot of 100 Days of SEO will be around search intent. Can you talk just a little bit more about how you think about search intent, and then also just share like some of the stuff that you have coming up with Ahrefs?
Like if we're talking specifically about YouTube, it's a little bit different than Google. I find Google, oftentimes you'll find a very, very clear search intent. Like you might find 10 list posts on the first page, and you can kind of see what people are looking for based on that. YouTube, you'll usually see it in the first 3 results. So I usually don't look past the first 5 results when I'm looking for search intent. So for people who've never actually tried this, you would just search for a keyword inside YouTube. You'd see the results, see what kind of content they're producing. I usually look at titles, length, and I'll read through the descriptions of each of those videos to kind of see what they're doing. And I might skim through some of the videos, and usually when I find that the video is bad, like I'm writing a topic on this right now, or I'm creating a video on this topic right now, and if you can't sustain my attention, then I need to outdo that somehow. Like there's a leverage, there's an advantage point for me there. And so I'll look at least the broad scope of what people are talking about, and then I'll kind of take that broad scope. I don't try and reinvent the wheel, but I'll take that angle and then I'll put in what I think would be a better fit there. In YouTube Analytics, have you used Beta Studio yet?
Yeah, I have. Well, I'm
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
getting into it, but yes.
yeah. So if you look at the keyword rankings, they actually show you the average watch time per keyword. And so that, for me at least, that's an indication of whether you have served search intent for that specific keyword. So like we rank number 2 for the keyword SEO, but I think the watch time on that is longer than the entire watch time of the first video. So I would suspect that at some point we'll rank higher, but yeah, like the other channel has way too much authority, channel authority, and so it's tough for us to actually move there. I think we have it in the engagement set, but there are other things that we need to consider there.
Awesome, Sam. I appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on 100 Days of SEO.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And if you want to check out the extended uncut version of this episode, so unedited beginning to end, go to 100daysofseo.com/join. You'll get access to worksheets and resources from every single one of the 100 days of episodes that we're putting out, but also access to every single unedited video. So again, that's 100daysofseo.com/join. I've been Brendan Hufford. Don't forget to work hard, be nice people, and don't get too lost trying to create something that matters.